What's up everybody, welcome to another video. This one is going to be 10 of the longest pet dry streaks in Old School Runescape history. Before we begin this one, I wanted to thank you all for the support on the first video. At the time I'm recording this, it's been 4 days since I uploaded that, and it's still getting like 2,000 views an hour. So for this video, I tried my best to find the longest dry streaks that I could. It is worth noting that there are people with longer dry streaks at some of the bosses you're about to see. They may just not use social media so much, so it makes it a lot harder to find them. Also for this video, to make it a bit simpler, I'm only going to be showing PVM pets and leaving skilling pets out. Finally, the rankings on this video are solely based on the number of kills the player has gone to get the pet, or the number they are still dry on. It doesn't take into account the overall time of the dry streak. For example, we all know one Jad kill takes longer than one mole kill. I did limit the rankings to one boss per rank as well to show some variety. With all of that being said, let's go ahead and start the countdown. So starting this off at number 10, we have WB Ryan, also known on Twitter as Flammel. I hope I said that right. And it took him 8,319 kills to get the Venonata Spiderling. The drop rate for this pet is 1 in 2,000, meaning he went over 4 times the drop rate. Some numbers were also provided with this picture. He said that he received 69 dragon pickaxes and 20 treasonous rings. With today's current prices on these items, that would be a total of 341 mil. At number 9, we have Muggles, who is currently over 10,000 bandos killed dry of the pet. The drop rate is 1 in 5,000, meaning he is over 2 times the drop rate. In this particular case, he still hasn't received the pet drop yet. From what I can see on Twitter, it seems like he got tired of the boss and he just stopped killing it. This picture is also pretty old though, so he could be even drier on it now. I tried to reach out to as many people on this list as I could, trying to get drop numbers for you guys, but some of them never replied back and don't have any listed with their pictures, so it made it really hard. Number 8 on this list goes to not Hugo, who is over 10,000 kills dry of the Ziliana pet at Ceradom and GWD. The drop rate is 1 in 5,000 as well, so just like the previous player, Hugo is 2 times the dry rate of the pet. The picture you guys see on screen is over a month old, and after making all of these graphics for this video and being nearly done editing it, I did get a reply from him on Twitter saying that at this point he is almost 15,000 kills dry now, but he still is yet to upload an updated picture, so for this point we're just going to be keeping him at 10,000. So for number 7, instead of just a picture, he decided to share his pet with a small video. At this spot we have Jad Pone, and it took him 10,028 kills to receive the sire pet. Combining the chances of getting an unsired drop and then getting a pet from that unsired, the chances of this pet are 1 in 2,560. So Jad went nearly 4 times over the drop rate. This one did have a ton of drop information with it though. On this long grind, he got 90 unsired, and from those unsired received 43 bludgeon pieces, 18 jars of miasma, 13 abyssal daggers, 9 whips, and 6 heads. With today's prices, all of these drops combined would come out to a total of nearly 560 million GP. Spot number 6 on this countdown goes to Zolon, who took 12,443 kills to get his Calphite Princess pet. With a 1 in 3,000 drop rate, this means he went over 4 times dry. Sadly, he didn't keep track of the Dragon Chainbody drops, but he did mention that from this grind he got 95 KQ heads, which is the head that you need for the diaries, 7 jars of sand, which have a drop rate of 1 in 2,000, and he said this took him over 460 hours to complete, and that he made close to 1 bill or a bit over 1 bill profit from selling all of the drops. Next spot with an insane Zammy dry streak, we have Charles with 15,193 kills for his pet Krill. This pet, like all of the other God Wars dungeon bosses, has a 1 in 5,000 drop rate, so he went over 3 times dry. Thankfully enough, he was the only one on this list that had a God Wars dry streak that actually kept track of their drops. The only thing that sucks is he only started keeping track after 3,200 kills. So from the amount of drops here, you can expect he got a lot more. 115 Zammy spears, 21 hilts, and 18 staves of the dead. The spears alone, if sold in today's market, would be almost 1.4 bill, but if you add the hilts and staves to it, the GP that Charles got going for this pet is nearly 1.6 bill, and as stated, it's probably even more since this doesn't count the first 3,200 kills he did. Next, we have DabDabDan, who is currently 16,379 kills dry of a Kraken pet. After looking through Reddit and Twitter, I found like 7 different dry streaks of all over 10,000 kills on this boss. As most of you know, I did post on YouTube and Twitter asking for anyone with large pet dry streaks to send me pictures of them, and Dan was one of the only people on this list to do so. The rest I just found on my own through looking through Twitter and Reddit. For those that don't know, Mod Lottie tweets out a lot of statistics on her Twitter page, and this includes current pet dry streaks for almost every boss. And at the time she posted this, DabDabDan was the highest dry on this pet. Sadly, the only thing he kept track of, as you can see from the picture, is the jars of dirt, of which he got 18. Now we're going to get into the top 3, and these dry streaks are pretty insane. So starting it off at spot 3, we have duo Armadyla, and it took them 18,212 kills to receive a pet from Dagannoth Prime. This picture also shows him having over 18,000 Rex kills, and since nearly everyone that grinds DKs kills all three, we can also assume that he has over 18,000 Dagannoth Supreme kills. The pet drop rate for the Prime pet is 1 in 5,000, so over 3 times the drop rate. I did try looking through his Twitter for the amount of drops, but I couldn't find anything. But with a combined 54,000 kills from all the Dagannoth Kings, it's pretty safe to assume that he made a crazy amount of profit. The runner-up spot on this video goes to probably one of the most well-known dry streaks in Old School, and that is Storgie or Storgie. Hopefully I said your name right. As you guys know, I'm pretty bad with names. 20,067 kills for his mole pet, and with the drop rate being 1 in 3,000, this poor man went almost 7 times over the drop rate. This became a pretty big meme in the community as well. Almost anytime somebody talked about not having a pet, his name would come up. On the day he finally got the pet, it was only natural that he got a lot of attention. The picture he posted on Twitter of the pet got over 1,300 likes and 300 retweets. Also, when I had the idea of making this video, this dry streak was the first one that came to my mind, and I was expecting him to have the #1 spot, but I came across a dry streak that was absolutely awful, and even worse than this one. #1 on this list is going to be very familiar because he was also at the #8 spot for his dry streak at Saradomin. The highest pet dry streak that I could find goes to, once again, not Hugo, for his 21,598 Zora kills for his pet Snakeling. The drop rate for a pet Zora is 1 in 4,000, meaning he went over 5 times drive the pet. And as Zora of all things, this might be one of the worst places for this to happen. Personally, I killed around 6,500 Zora across my accounts, so I know how much time it takes and how tedious of a grind it is. So knowing he did over 3 times the amount of kills that I did, he must have been losing his mind when he saw that damn pet drop. Hugo kept track of some of his drops. He got 6 jars of Swamp, 3 Magma Mutagens, and 1 Tanzanite Mutagen. Sadly, he didn't keep a Zora tab because from that many kills, a tab like that would look pretty crazy. I believe Zora is over 2 mil GP profit per hour, and you could kill maybe 20 to 30 as well per hour, so just imagining how much money he must have made from this might have even made the dry streak a little bit worth it. That's going to do it for this video. As usual, I hope you enjoyed watching it. I did put a ton more time into the graphics for this episode, so I hope it looked good as well. As usual, any feedback that you guys can give me on these videos to help make them better in the future would be greatly appreciated. Also, if you have any ideas for future videos, be sure to let me know in the comments. I do have an idea of what I want to do for the next video, but I'm not entirely sure if I'll be able to find enough for it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.